One ship doesn't make a summer, but the hope is that the Razoni is only the first of many. Laden with 26,000 tons of Ukrainian maize, the cargo carrier set sail from Odesa this morning, heading for Turkey, then Lebanon, along a safe passage through naval mines deposited by the Ukrainians to deter Russian warships. If this voyage is successful, another 16 ships of grain are in Odesa port, ready to go. The last view of the port was filmed by the ship's junior engineer, who happens to be Syrian. Today, then, is the second time he's left a war zone.
It
was a great feeling. I felt as if we became free after being detained for a long time. It's an indescribable feeling returning to my home country after suffering the siege and the dangers we were facing because of the shelling. As you know, they shelled the port just a few days ago.
The ship's being tracked from a control centre in Istanbul, manned by officials from Turkey and the United Nations, as well as Russia and Ukraine, who signed a deal last month to allow grain shipments. Still, the Ukrainians remain suspicious of the Russians, who have continued to attack Odesa despite the agreement.
It's sure and it's clear that Putin will do everything he can to make these shipments like a teaspoon shipments, like a bottleneck. And he will, like for this, he's attacking Odesa, like he did it before the inks dried on the paper of this agreement. He already attacked Odesa port.
President Zelensky visited Odesa port on Friday. Today he tweeted that the problem isn't just exporting last year's harvest. The Russian invasion has prevented many Ukrainian farmers from planting this year's crop. Ukraine is one of the world's biggest grain producers, and the rapid rising global food prices is caused partly by the impact of the war on Ukrainian exports. The UN World Food Programme is desperate for this shipping deal to work, as Ukraine is the source of 40% of the wheat that it sends to poor countries and famine areas. Some Ukrainian farmers are wearing homemade flak jackets in their combine harvesters. They could be shelled at any time, an occupational hazard they never envisaged. Sometimes they gather in not ears of wheat, but shrapnel and bits of missile that landed in their fields. Near Kharkiv, Russian shelling has set alight many acres of wheat. The war isn't just killing Ukrainians, but potentially starving people across the world. The shipping deal is good for 4 months, but even if it succeeds, Ukraine's economy is going up in flames, and the rest of the world is only just starting to feel the impact.
Well, earlier I spoke to Matthew Hollingworth, Emergency Coordinator and Ukraine Director at the World Food Programme. I asked him how it feels to see grain leave Ukraine after all this time.
I mean, today's a fantastic day. I was watching over the port as the MV Razoni left this morning, just after 9 a.m. With 4 blasts of her foghorn. And it really is a great moment, because this is the beginning of something that could bring hope, that could bring succor to millions of people around the world who are facing horrific levels of food insecurity. There's 345 million people in 82 countries that are severely food insecure, desperately hungry today. So opening up this channel, opening up this initiative, operationalizing it, is a really wonderful moment to have experienced.
Few of us probably before this war understood quite how crucial Ukrainian food exports are. Who's going to benefit most now that this channel has been opened up, even just a little?
Look, last year, Ukraine fed 400 million people with the food it exported. So there's places in the world today like Ethiopia, Somalia, Yemen, all of which are desperate, in terms of the levels of hunger. And they're also countries that would have relied previously, before the war started, on grain being shipped from this country. So those sorts of countries, the people living in those countries, this is going to mean, a real difference in their lives once this food becomes available. 5 million people have been made unemployed because of this war. This country is still going to produce 45 million tons of grain this year, and they've got 20 million tons stuck right now. So getting this food out is so important to the economy of this war-torn country as well.
In the first instance, this is about getting the ships that are stuck in Ukraine out to the world, isn't it? How confident are you, though, that ships will come back in to pick up grain from Ukraine? Do we need another international deal to underwrite the insurance of those shipping companies, their premiums presumably going through the roof?
I mean, certainly, again, this is why today is so critical, so important. If a vessel can get out from Ukrainian waters, from the port of Odessa to the Bosphorus safely, that gives hope and it gives confidence to other commercial owners that they can do it too, including the insurers, the underwriters. So if this works and the other vessels get out safely, we're also looking at how we can bring vessels in to Odessa, the 3 ports of Odessa, to lift here. The World Food Programme will be doing that in the coming weeks, so that we can bring a vessel in and take grain out as well, just to show that it's doable. Today's the beginning of something, but it's the beginning of something that can be very big. Remember, this is a country that used to export up to 6 million tons a month through these ports. So it's worth the time and effort to get it right.
Matthew Hollingsworth, thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you.